Hey everyone, XPS Mark II strut bladder replacement. Let's get into it. We're going to make this as simple as possible. First of all, get your wing out. So a couple of little things, obviously. You don't need your handles for this. Remove your handles if they're on the wing, so we just ditch those. Okay, take your wing out. Now in the bag, okay, top of the bag there's a zip pocket. In the zip pocket you'll find the repair kit. So you will need the string that's in this repair kit. We'll just get that out now. Then the easiest way to knot the string when you put it on the end of the bladder, which we'll do in a minute, is just to tie a loop in your string, and you can just tie a normal old knot just to generate a loop in the end of your string. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the bladder out of this wing, and I'll show you there's a couple of important setup details on how we do that. So first of all, arrange the wing, get a nice clean work area. I like to set the wing up so that I've folded the canopy under and I have the zip side facing up. So there's the valve side over here and the zip side. I'm going to fold the wing in half. The wing's in half underneath, and the strut is also split in half so that the zip's facing up. So now we're going to open the back. So I'm going to spin the wing around. Now at the back of the wing here, you'll notice there's a Velcro square stitched here. You have to get your two, I like to use 2 fingers in here, and you have to disconnect this bit of Velcro and then use your 2 fingers to slide out this end tab, okay? You'll notice that the bladder is just sitting flush or just inside the end of this folded tab. So what you want to do is just have a look how that's sitting. But what we're going to do first of all is we're going to get our string loop that we prepared. We're going to tie a cow hitch onto this. So I'm just going to put my fingers through, loop it around. So I've got this loop ready to cinch onto the end of the bladder. So I'm going to take a little bit of the bladder, I'm going to slip this on, cinch this string up. Doesn't need to be super tight, just needs to be snug on there so that the string doesn't slip off. Give that bladder a little tug, just make sure your string doesn't slip off. Okay, that's the string ready to go. Now we're going to go back over here to the zip end. So let's open the Velcro, open the zip, and then you're going to go to the front, top and bottom. At the very front of the strut, there is a Velcro tab. So you can put your hand inside here, reach in. Now these Velcro tabs, have a good feel of them and get your hand, familiarize yourself with it. There's a long, soft loop section, and then the hook section stitched on, and it folds over onto itself. So this is just an example of what's inside the strut. This feeds into there. Okay, and then it folds over. This folds over, sticks down here. That's it. On the valve side, carefully remove the valve from the Velcro on the inside of the valve area. And slip that off, pull it out. There is a tab on the Velcro that makes it easy to grab. So you can grab the tab or anywhere around the edge of the Velcro to slip it off. So we've got the string on the back, and we're just going to pull this bladder all the way out, this old bladder, until the string has come all the way through. Okay, so we're going to untie the back end of this. So we've got the old bladder, we'll get rid of that, and make sure your string is set up ready to go with the new bladder. Get the new bladder out of your bag. You'll notice it is pre-talcum powdered. There's also a little bit of paper here. That's just to give the Velcro a little bit of protection when it's shipping. So remove that stuff. You get the wing set up so that the zip side is facing up really smooth, okay? Now, talcum powder. There's some on the strut, you don't have to use it if you haven't got it. I prefer just to grab a little bit of talcum powder, put it on my hands, put it on this front of the bladder area here. The replacement bladders have 1, 2, and zip written on here, okay? So we're going to put the valve side down, zip side up, 1 and 2, okay? And we're going to attach the Velcro onto point 1 first, point 2 second. There's a loop here that the Velcro attaches to. Then we're going to concertina the rest of this bladder so that it's folded one piece over the other so that it slips nicely into this zip. And then you're going to take your string loop, same as before, feed this over the end of the bladder. Now you do want to make sure it's snug on the end there and doesn't fall off. Okay, that's firm on there. I'm going to poke this end in. Okay, so that end's in. As long as you set up properly with a little bit of talcum powder, it all works pretty smoothly. So we get to the back end with our bit of string. Just taking up the string there. Okay, then I like to hold about halfway down the strut, just so that the thing doesn't pull towards me. And just gently hold this canopy seam here. And I'm just slowly pulling this through. There actually should be no tension on it. It's actually quite a gentle tug. Now you don't want to pull this all the way out the end yet, because we've got to this point here where the valve is hitting the zip. Okay, so this is all correct. Still, you've got side 1 on the left here, side 2 on the right. We're going to leave point 1 and point 2 outside, because we don't want to get that twisted up. It's quite important. Our next job, we're just going to fold it a little bit. Be careful not to twist the bladder at this point. So we're just going to fold this a little bit over so we can poke the valve in. Now, I like to poke my outside hand index finger in, and I find the center of the valve, okay? So that's kind of the key point. Get your index finger, poke it in the hole so it's hit the middle of this valve, and guide it to the middle of the hole, okay? Then it'll be lined up, and then you just check around the edges that it hasn't caught the bladder material under the Velcro anywhere. Right, now if you don't get it lined up exactly right the first time, that's okay. Just unattach it, slip it back in. That's good, great. Then you come back here, you've still got point 1 and point 2 on the outside. We're going to attach this to the Velcro. So there's 2 ways you can do that. You can slip your hand in and do it on the inside, or I find the easiest way is to fold that over. I'm going to reach in, I'm going to find this Velcro tab, pull the Velcro tab so that it's right by the entrance of the zip here. I'm going to fold this over, point 1 first, and I'm going to slip the end of the Velcro tab through the loop, and I can actually see it. You can reach inside and do it if you've got small fingers. I struggle with my finger size to do that. Once you've got the Velcro into that loop, then you're going to push the bladder and your hand and the loop back inside, and you're going to fold that Velcro tab under so the Velcro is stitched right here in this corner. Right, once you've got one side in, then you're going to take the other side, number 2, and we're effectively going to do the same thing. So we're reaching in here with another Velcro tab, undoing it, and we're taking the end of the tab and we're bringing it back to the zip here. So we can just see the corner of the end of the tab of Velcro at the zip. Loop it through the TPU loop on the bladder, folding that back onto the Velcro closure. I'm going to push that bladder in. I'm going to get my hand in there. You feed that bladder in. You push it to the front. When you close the zip, this tab covering flange here, this vinyl flange that covers the zip, is important. Then you do the zip up. Small detail here, the zip slips into this bit of elastic here. So you've got to make sure the zip is fully closed underneath here. Then close the Velcro. So the zipper is in this bit of elastic here. That's the front done. You can even put the valve in ready for inflation test. So at the back end, we can pull a little bit more out the back end. So we're going to slip our knot off the end of this. Now the important point here is that you make it flush with the end, and then you fold the soft material inwards each side so that you then have the square of Velcro ready to go. And then you're ready to slip the Velcro in to attach back here again, and the same thing again, 2 fingers on top of it. So I'm shielding the Velcro if I'm getting stuck on the way in. So that's what my 2 fingers are on top for. And then I'm going to position it. I'm using this hand to feel where my fingers are so that I'm positioning it well. And then you can feel around the edge. The Velcro edge is well stuck. This is really important. The Velcro edge is lined up to this bit of Velcro here. Stick it down. Check this end is in here. Then you've got this end tab from the canopy that also folds in with a bit of Velcro. Okay, now we're going to give this a test inflate, super important step. Put your valve in, attach the pump. Really important to pump this up to really low pressure first to make sure everything's seated properly. So we're going to start pumping here. Okay, so it's barely registering on the pump gauge and it's soft here. And the whole point of that is to look at the corners at the front, okay? Check that, check there's no weird creases or no area where there's actually no material. So it's really important that the bladder has filled into these corners. Then we're going to go to the back and we're going to check that this back end is also, if the bladder's filled into it. Okay, yep, everything's there looking all like it's lined up. So this is still when it's soft. You'll notice a crease. There'll be a little crease like this somewhere if it's got a twist. Because if it's got a twist, it'll look like a little bit of a line on the Dacron. So watch for that at this low pressure. It's not even registering yet, okay? So then we're gonna pump to pressure. All right, this is 9 PSI on this particular wing, so I've pumped to 9. Leave this thing inflated for an hour or so and you are ready to go.